America leads the world in medicine development. It matters. We get new medicines first, nearly 3 years faster. 5 million Americans go to work because we make medicines here at home. And not relying on other countries keeps us safe. But China is racing to overtake us. Will we let them, or will we choose to stay ahead? When America leads, America cures. Let's tell Washington to keep us in the lead.
Learn how at americacures.com. Paid for by Pharma.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, the 3 most common ways to achieve FIRE by Christina Browning of ourrichjourney.com. In recent years, FIRE, or financial independence and early retirement, has taken off around the globe as more people realize that they have the power to invest in their own lives and achieve financial independence. There are plenty of routes one can take to achieve FIRE. Here are the 3 most common ways to do so, including the pros and cons of each strategy. It's important to understand how these methods work, how they don't work, and how you can apply them to your own situation. Investing in the stock market. If you choose to open an investment portfolio to invest in the stock market, you can eventually generate enough income that it will pay for your expenses in retirement. But proper asset allocation is important, as it allows your portfolio to continue growing even as you make withdrawals. The key is to live off the generated income without depleting your returns. The idea of living off stock investments seems foreign to a lot of people because they don't understand how you live off those investments on an annual basis. Living off of your investment portfolio is more than possible, but there are still pros and cons. Pros. Number 1, it's easy and accessible to the majority of people. Number 2, access to tax-advantaged investment accounts that either reduce your taxable income or allow your money to grow tax-free. And number 3, it's passive. Investing in the stock market over the long term requires very little work and hassle. It's a great fit for hands-off people who want to put their money somewhere and leave it to grow. Cons. Number 1, it can be risky. You can lose all of your money if you don't hedge against risk. Number 2, you have to invest larger portions of your income to achieve FIRE. Traditional retirement requires saving about 10 to 15% of your income, but early retirement via stock market investing requires much more. Number 3, you have to invest for the long term. Without that long-term horizon, you're unlikely to achieve FIRE due to stock market volatility. If you don't want to invest over the long term, that volatility may cause anxiety, leading you to sell early at a loss. And number 4, investing for FIRE is slow, and it can take a long time to build up steam. Some people will lose motivation before they see results. Investing in real estate. If you have the ability, investing in real estate can be a very effective way to gain financial independence, perhaps leaving you with hundreds of thousands of dollars to put towards early retirement. But as with anything, there are upsides and downsides to this strategy. Pros. Number 1, you can reach FIRE more quickly than you would through investing in the stock market. The returns are greater and you can begin living off of them earlier. Number 2, by investing a relatively small amount of money, you can buy a relatively large asset, which you can then use to purchase other assets, that is, more properties. Leverage through real estate investing is a major pro of this method. Number 3, you have more control over your investments. If you want to increase the value of a property, you can add extensions and make repairs, or even rent it out as an Airbnb. And number 4, it's an effective hedge against inflation, which can have a huge effect on your financial independence journey. When you live off real estate, you're largely protected from the worst effects of inflation, since real estate is one of the first things to grow with inflation. Cons. Number 1, it costs a lot to get started. You need cash for the down payment, repairs, furnishings, etc. Number 2, compared to stock market investing, it requires far more physical and emotional labor. You can't just invest your money and sit back and wait for it to work its financial magic. Number 3, you have far less diversification among your assets. For example, if you have 3 different properties and 2 tenants aren't paying rent, it will deal a devastating blow to your retirement savings. And number 4, there are a lot of unique risks that deter people from investing in real estate. This can include being sued for a fall on the property, bad tenants, potential squatters, etc. If you don't do thorough research, unforeseen risks can derail your FIRE journey entirely. Starting a business. When most people talk about starting a business, they aren't talking about it as a mechanism for achieving FIRE, but it can be a vital way of achieving financial independence. The key is starting a business that produces passive income, which can lead to true financial freedom. Things like creating apps, self-publishing ebooks, building websites, affiliate marketing, etc. You create a product that will continuously sell, so you reap the benefits without additional work on your part. Pros. Number 1, you're your own boss. You get to choose what you make and sell. Number 2, your income potential is endless depending on what you create. For example, a successful app can literally make millions. Number 3, depending on the type of business, you can be relatively, if not completely, location dependent. Being able to move anywhere can help you drastically cut housing and even living expenses. And number 4, more potential to pass on generational wealth. Your children can reap the benefits financially and also intellectually, as you can show them how to manage a passive income business. Cons. Number 1, there's a fine line between passive and active income. You may start a business that you think is going to produce passive income, but you end up doing more work than you did before starting the business. Number 2, income can be inconsistent. Whether due to missteps or luck, your business may not generate enough wealth over time to maintain early retirement. A failed business can jeopardize all of your FIRE plans. And number 3, it requires a lot of work upfront. In the beginning, you might have to spend 40 to 50 hours a week, which can take a mental and physical toll on you. You have to be 100% dedicated to making a passive income business work. So these are the 3 most common ways that people can achieve their dream of financial independence and early retirement. Of course, not all of these things will work for or appeal to you. This is especially true if you don't have the funds to invest in real estate or the ambition and ideas to start your own business. Of the 3, investing in the stock market is the most accessible way to start your FIRE journey. Even if you start small, investing what you can spare from your monthly paycheck, it will still act as passive income, growing your wealth in the background and eventually making an enormous difference to your progress. Whatever strategy you choose, make sure you have a specific plan for financial independence that works for your unique situation. Hopefully, these strategies have given you inspiration for new ways to generate income and work towards your FIRE goals. You just listened to the post titled, "The 3 Most Common Ways to Achieve FIRE" by Christina Browning of ourrichjourney.com.
Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments that matter, for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. Built for the busy days that turn into all-night study sessions. The moment you're working from a cafe and realize every outlet's taken. The times you're deep in your flow and the absolute last thing you need is an auto update throwing off your momentum. That's why Dell builds tech that adapts to the way you actually work. Built with long-lasting batteries so you're not scrambling for the closest outlet. And built-in intelligence that makes updates around your schedule, not in the middle of it. They don't build tech for tech's sake. They build it for you. Find technology built for the way you work at Dell.com/DellPCs. Built for you.
Hey, it's Justin from Optimal Living Daily. Before we start, I want to share a super powerful practice I use called NSDR, or non-sleep deep rest. In just about 10 minutes or so, this yoga nidra practice leaves you feeling as refreshed as after a nap without actually sleeping. Experience it for yourself on our guided podcast. Search NSDR and look for the one from Optimal Living Daily.
I thought this article was a great overview of the 3 main ways people reach financial independence. But I wanted to point out that what's described in today's article assumes that you won't retire from your career until you reach your F.I.R.E number, otherwise known as having 25 times your yearly expenses. That is certainly the typical approach to F.I.R.E, and that was my initial plan. When I started at 28 years old, I was projected to hit my F.I.R.E number by 40 through passive investment in the stock market. But then I ended up retiring at 33 from my corporate career. So what gives? This is where Coast F.I enters the chat. Coast F.I is a milestone on the path to 25 times your annual expenses. This is where your portfolio has enough money to grow through the power of compound interest to what you need at a more traditional retirement age, even if you don't contribute one more dollar. I like to think of it as front-loading your traditional retirement savings, and you get to a point where you can just stop contributing and let compound interest do the rest of the work. What I found appealing about this approach is that I was able to downshift much earlier than waiting until 40 years old. And because my annual expenses are so low, I'm able to cover them on just 4 hours of work per week hosting this podcast for you. So I'm not living off of my portfolio, but I still consider myself retired because 4 hours per week isn't exactly gainfully employed. I feel like Coast F.I is almost a cheat code to living the F.I lifestyle while not yet being fully financially independent. And that should do it for today. Thank you for being a subscriber or follower of the show and sharing it with others. It really goes a long way to keep this podcast going. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.